Picture this. You're at a dealership on a Saturday afternoon. The salesperson slides a piece of paper across the desk, and there's one number circled in red ink. $700 a month. Not the price of the car, not the interest rate, not the total you'll pay over the next 7 years, just the monthly payment. And here's the uncomfortable truth. That circle is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's making you look at the smallest possible number, so you never think about the biggest one. Because that $700 payment, over the life of the loan, with interest, insurance, fuel, and depreciation, it's not a $700 decision. It's closer to a $250,000 decision. And almost nobody signing those papers ever does that math. My goal in this video is simple: to show you the numbers the dealership will never circle in red, and to give you a way out that doesn't involve riding a bicycle to work. Let's start with the most powerful trick in the entire car business, the monthly payment itself. Walk into any dealership and notice what happens. Nobody asks you what you want to pay for the car. They ask what you want to pay per month. That's not an accident. It's the foundation of the whole system. Because once the conversation is about monthly payments, the total price of the car almost disappears. Think about it. $60,000 sounds like a lot of money, because it is. But $849 a month? That sounds like a phone bill and a gym membership. Your brain processes those two numbers completely differently, even when they describe the exact same purchase. And here's where it gets clever. If a payment feels too high, the dealer doesn't lower the price. They stretch the loan. Can't afford it over 5 years? Let's try 6. Still too much? 7. Some lenders now write 8, even 10-year car loans. The payment shrinks, you relax, everyone shakes hands, but nothing about the deal got cheaper. In fact, it got significantly more expensive. A $60,000 loan at 7% costs you about $11,000 in interest over 5 years. Stretch it to 8 years, and you'll hand over more than $18,000. Same car, same price tag, $7,000 extra dollars, just for the comfort of a smaller number on a piece of paper. Now, let's talk about the part of the equation that no one at the dealership will ever bring up: depreciation. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it loses roughly 10% of its value. Not in the first year, in the first drive home. By the end of year 1, a typical new vehicle is down about 20%. By year 5, many are worth less than half of what you paid. And here's why that matters so much when you're financing. You're paying interest on the full original price of an asset that's collapsing in value underneath you. It's the worst of both worlds. The loan balance goes down slowly, especially on those long loans, while the car's value drops fast. And for a big chunk of the loan, those two lines cross. You owe more than the car is worth. That's called being underwater, or having negative equity. And it's not a rare edge case. Roughly 1 in 4 people trading in a car today owes more on it than it's worth. Think about what that means. They can't sell the car without writing a check. They can't trade it without dragging the old debt along. They're trapped. And what does the industry offer as a solution? Roll the negative equity into the next loan. So now you're financing a new car, plus the leftover debt from the old one, on an even longer loan. Each cycle, the hole gets deeper. There are people driving around right now making payments on 3 cars they don't own anymore, all bundled into one loan on the car they do. That's not a car payment. That's a debt snowball rolling downhill, and you're strapped to it. But let's say you're comfortable with the payment. You've done the budget, $700 a month fits. Here's the problem. The payment is only the entrance fee. Full coverage insurance on a new financed vehicle. And yes, full coverage is required when you finance. Averages well over $200 a month, and much more for young drivers or expensive trucks. Fuel for the average American driver runs another $150 to $250. Maintenance, tires, registration, the occasional repair once the warranty runs out, call it another $150 on average, spread over time. Added up, that $700 payment quietly becomes $1,200, $1,300 a month in real all-in cost. For many households, that is more than housing. Let me say that again, because it's genuinely absurd. Millions of people now spend more per month on a machine that sits parked 23 hours a day than on the place where they live and sleep. Financial planners used to say your total vehicle costs should stay under 10 to 15% of your take-home pay. For a household bringing home $6,000 a month, that's $900 all in for every vehicle in the driveway combined. Now look around at driveways with 2 finance trucks sitting in them, and you start to understand why so many families with good incomes feel completely broke. At some point, someone will tell you the smart move is to lease. Lower payment, always under warranty, new car every 3 years. And to be fair, the payment usually is lower because you're not buying the car. You're renting the most expensive years of its life. A lease is, at its core, you paying for the depreciation, the steepest part of the curve we just talked about, plus interest, plus fees, and then handing the car back and starting over forever. There's no finish line, no year where the payments stop and the car is just yours. The lease is the car payment turned into a permanent subscription. And the contract is full of tripwires, mileage caps of $10,000 or $12,000 a year, with fees of around 25 cents for every mile over, wear and tear charges when you return it, a fee just for the privilege of giving the car back. Now, is leasing always wrong? No. If you run a business and can deduct it, or you genuinely need a new vehicle every few years and you've done the math with clear eyes, fine. But for most people, leasing answers the question, how can I drive a car I can't afford with by never owning anything and paying forever? That's not a financial strategy. That's a treadmill with leather seats. Now we get to the number that changed how I personally think about cars. Not what a car payment costs, what it costs you in what it could have been. Economists call it opportunity cost. I call it the invisible price tag. Take that average $700 payment. Invest it instead in a boring, low-cost index fund earning a historically ordinary 8% a year. After 10 years, you'd have roughly $128,000. After 20 years, about $412,000. After 30 years, it clears $1 million. $1 million. That is the invisible price tag on a lifetime of chasing new cars. Now, I can already hear the objection. Everybody needs a car. You can't invest 100% of the payment. True. So let's be realistic. Say you drive a paid-off, reliable used car, and your true cost difference is only $350 a month, half the average payment. That's still over $200,000 in 20 years. That's a child's education. That's years of early retirement, handed over, one monthly payment at a time, for the feeling of a newer car in the driveway. And here's the psychological kicker. Study after study shows the happiness boost from a new car fades within a few months. It's called hedonic adaptation. The car becomes normal, the payment does not. You adapt to the leather seats in about 90 days. You make the payment for 96 months. So what do you actually do? Because you probably do need a car. And no, the answer is not a rusted-out beater that strands you on the highway. Here's a simple framework. It's called the 20-4-10 rule. Put at least 20% down, so you're never underwater from day one. Finance for no more than 4 years. If the payment doesn't work at 48 months, the car is too expensive, full stop. And keep total vehicle costs, payment, insurance, fuel, everything under 10% of your take-home pay. Almost nobody can hit those numbers on a new $60,000 truck. That's not a flaw in the rule. That's the rule telling you the truth. Second, let someone else pay the depreciation. A 3 to 5-year-old vehicle with a clean history has already lost 40 to 50% of its value, but a well-maintained modern car can easily run past 200,000 miles. You're buying 80% of the useful life for 50% of the price. That is the single best deal in the entire car market. Third, drive it longer than feels exciting. The cheapest years of car ownership are the ones after the loan ends. Every month you drive a paid-off car, you're effectively earning your old payment. Send that same $700 to investments or into a savings account for the next car. And something remarkable happens. Within a few years, you become the person who buys cars with cash, no interest, no negotiation over payments, no trap. And fourth, maybe most important, if you're currently underwater on a loan, don't roll it forward. Keep the car, keep paying, throw extra at the principal until you break the surface. The most expensive words in car buying are, "I was tired of it." Boredom is not a financial emergency. Here's the mental shift underneath all of this. A car is a tool. Its job is to move you from one place to another, safely and reliably. It was never supposed to be a status symbol financed over 8 years, or an identity, or proof to strangers at red lights that you're doing okay. The industry spends billions of dollars a year to make you forget that, because the moment you remember it, the trap stops working. The monthly payment loses its magic. The $70,000 truck becomes what it always was, a depreciating machine with a very good marketing team. So next time that piece of paper slides across the desk with one small number circled in red, do one thing. Ask for the big numbers instead. The total price, the total interest, the total cost over the life of the loan. Then multiply the payment by what it could earn, invested over 20 years. If the car is still worth it to you after that, buy it with clear eyes. But most people, the moment they see the whole picture, put down the pen. And that decision, made once, in a plastic chair, on an ordinary Saturday afternoon, might quietly be worth more than $1 million. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.